Alright, back again, Luke here. And as you can see in front of you, we've got another arcade PCB. This one here is Guerrilla War, and this is an SNK. Where is it? SNK PCB. And the issue that I'm having with this one here is that when you go to fire it on, it displays a double image. So I've tried replacing the RAM on it so far to try and see if I could get it back, as well as a few of these EPROMs, which I've reburned, and I've tried to pop those in and see if we could get this thing running again. But as of right now, it's still doing a double image. I'll pop the power on here and let you guys see what it's doing. It doesn't have audio either, so I'm guessing that there's something wrong with the audio amp over here, as well as maybe, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, probably the RAM or so. I did wind up replacing this Z80 chip that was here, the CPU. There was one Z80 here, there's another here, and there's another here, and that could be another problem with the system, but we'll flip the switch on here. I'll let you guys take a look at what it's doing. Normally it says RAM OK, ROM OK, and it'll say like CPU 1, CPU 2 OK, but instead what it's doing is it's just doubling the image. So you can see here, it almost looks like looking at it through some blurry glasses, and it's just refreshing the image throughout the screen here. It's just doubling it, doubles everything. So what you get is you get a credit button down at the bottom that just says the credits. You can see like some of the stuff up here. You can notice that the screen is kind of flipped backwards, which it'll sometimes flip like one way or it'll flip another way. It really depends on the game. It likes to do all sorts of crazy wild stuff on its own. It'll probably flip by itself here, as you can see the graphics pop. Yep, there it goes. So it's going a bit spastic here. Now it's flipped itself over. So try to figure out what's wrong with this thing. See if I can get this up and running. At least you can see that the graphics are displaying, but everything's displaying in double, so we're gonna have to try and take this apart, check this thing bit by bit, and see what we can get. When I first got it, it wasn't powering on at all, so I wound up going through it and changing a couple of the chips on it, putting a couple of new RAM chips on it, and was able to get it to at least turn on here. But unfortunately, we still got to figure out what's wrong with all these garbled graphics here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and work something out on this, and if I get a chance I'll put up another video on this one, but nonetheless just want to share this semi work in progress here with Guerrilla War SNK PCB. This is a vertical PCB, and hopefully eventually sometime soon I'll be able to get this one up and running. But that is about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching. Quite odd, that is. Alright, so I decided to put this thing into test mode by holding the test switch and turning on the power. And by pressing the test switch here, you can see that it's missing quite some stuff, quite a bit of stuff. It looks like red is gone, blue looks like brown color, green is showing, but the letters are repeated here. By pressing it again, nothing comes on. Press it again, we get some, this is probably the dip switches here for players 1 and 2 to show the buttons working or not, but it's still scrolled all the way to the bottom here. And just by pressing the button again, you can see partially some of these. These are the screens or the screen backdrops here, but this looks like it's still off quite a bit. And the sound, which the sound is not working either. Sound code repeating itself. But yeah, that's interesting. So I guess what I'll have to do here is try and do some more work on it, see what I can find, but we'll get back on it and see what we can do. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so as you can see here, we're getting a little bit closer. Repairing and replacing a few different chips. It's starting to look a little bit better. We actually have airplanes too in the beginning of the title screen. You'll notice here there's still a duplication going on with this, but with the title screen, when it comes up, you should be able to see the airplanes flying across it, which is something that it didn't have before. So slowly it's getting a little bit better. We're going to see if we can do a bit more to the board here and see if we can get it up and running. But lots and lots of chips and lots of parts on here that need to be tested and repaired. So, but much better. You can see it's still switching around, but at least the guys aren't walking through the ocean like they were before. They've just kind of suddenly disappeared a little bit, and it's still splitting, but at least it's keeping somewhat of a consistent issue here. So we'll get on that, and I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so as you can see here, we're getting a little bit closer. I've started to be able to figure out or straighten out the screen here for the most part. You can see it's still doubled on the screen there, but we've got a lot more clarity. Everything seems to be in a much better condition here than before. Everything is definitely separated. And at the beginning, we've got most of our intro back as well. So here's a little bit. You can see there's still some problems here with the rest of the picture in the background. But we've got our airplanes, we've got our water, we've got the boat, and got our two guys getting off the boat. So just a little bit more here, and I think, or I'm hoping, we'll be able to get this thing up and working. So I'm going to get back on this beast and see what else we can do. So far, a lot of parts replaced, but one step closer each time. So see you guys in a little bit. Alright here, so now we've got a couple more chips replaced. You can see it says RAM, CPU OK now, which is much better. We're getting a little bit more of a border around our character here. Still have some garbled graphics down at the bottom, but you'll notice the SNK logo is back up there. Guerrilla War is straightened out, so the title is up and working well. We just have this bit of garbled mess here, which is, I believe, part of the story or the background story for it. But it's got one player, one credit there, or the credits over in the side, which are still working quite nice now that they're all down to 1 and not 2. So the only thing they have left to do is figure out what in the world is up with that garbled graphics at the beginning, and on top of that, the other thing is trying to figure out what the problem is with the sound. So I'm going to keep hunting and see if I can find a bit more clues here as to what's wrong with the rest of it. Hopefully be able to fix this. You can see there's a little bit of a block up there, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Just a little bit more, I think. We'll be able to get it going. So I'll get back on this and hopefully be back in a little bit. But that looks 10 times better right now. Woohoo! Alright, so we're still plugging along here, and luckily, I don't know if this is going to do it again. It did do it before. I was able to get some sound effects. You can see this is still garbled here, but if I put in a couple of coins, not getting any sounds here. And if I go to start it up, still no music or anything like that. Let's see. If I do walk into some stray bullets here, let's see if it'll do it again. Did have it to where it was putting out some sound effects. Let's see. You can kind of hear some screaming or some, like right there. So we are getting some sound effects now. So it's getting there. A little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead do some more repairs on here. Did a lot of reburning of chips and replacing of stuff here, but I'll get back on that and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, here, so I managed to figure out what the other missing channel was, and you can hear. We've got sound now. We've still got that garbled image here, but let's try and start this up. Seems to be playing pretty well. Try and turn this down just a little bit. Well, we've got sound now. Huge benefit, sound and sound effects. So just gotta figure out, you can probably see down here there's still a green square that's poking out, and you can see that this here, as far as our weapon goes, is a bit of a garbled mess, but it is playable now, at least, and it does have music, so I'll try and get back on this thing and see what else I can do. See if I can figure out the rest of the mess here, and hopefully get this thing working 100%. Much better from where it came from, but yeah, you can see this bar down here at the bottom, so see what I can do about that. I'll be back in a little bit, hopefully. If not, well, I'll just end the video here, so hopefully I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so after checking a lot of different stuff here and going over the board here several times, changing out a lot of RAM chips as well as other TTL chips on here, the best that I can get it to do is just the way that you saw it probably a little bit before. At least it's booting up correctly. Unfortunately, it still has this garbled graphics on the title screen. I'm going to have to figure that out. Not sure what is going on with that, but the game will play, and maybe this would be easier. All of that titled mess there has to be figured out sometime, but it does play, and everything is back to normal for the most part. The only thing that's left is that one section. And if we put in a couple of coins here, let's see, just to test it out. Let's start it up here. Obviously this needs a different controller, but it is playable, so I guess it's a good start nonetheless here. This is pretty rough here playing with one hand. But good fun here, for the most part. But hopefully some point in time I'll be able to fix that problem there. I'm just not sure exactly what it is, what's causing it. I'm guessing it could be a graphic ROM that's the problem, but nonetheless, just want to share with you guys a little bit of this kind of pseudo repair, I guess you could call it. Not completed, but much better than it was before. And yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.